Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. Days of Thunder. Oh, I thought it was Wine and Rose's turn. In 1990, producers Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer reunited with Tom Cruise and director Tony Scott in an attempt to capture the magic that was Top Gun, with a movie more grounded, quite literally, Days of Thunder. Swapping the excitement of air combat for NASCAR wasn't quite a winning formula. It cost 4 times as much to make and only grossed half as much as Top Gun. But it doesn't matter how successful or not successful it was. As I've said so many times, it was a thing in the 90s, so it had a video game made. Several in this case, as this racing game was released for quite a few systems, from a variety of computers to the NES, and finally to the Game Boy in 1992. But now we get to the more interesting part of the game. How many developers had their hands on it? The publisher always remained the same, Mindscape, but it's a little wild that nearly every version was done by a different development company. The Game Boy version was handled by Argonaut Software, which also handled the DOS and Atari ST releases. Tiertex came in to bring us the ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64 releases, while the Amiga version was developed by Creative Materials, who also assisted Argonaut Software in the Atari ST port. And then we had the NES version, which was developed entirely separately by Beam Software. It wasn't uncommon to have 2 different developers for 2 different releases, but it's weird to see this many companies involved in so many releases of a game, especially one that, as far as I can tell, wasn't very well received and didn't leave much of an impact. Still though, we do have this rad box art to look at. I will always love racing game boxes that appear as though you're about to be run over by the racers. Also, maybe it's just me, but I could really go for Hardee's and exactly 1 mellow yellow right about now. So can this racing movie turned game translate to the small screen? Start your engines for Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder! Ooh, that's a stylish ident screen. Good music, too. And back to a standard ident screen. You know that part in NASCAR where the cars fill with water? Haha, what? Oh, okay. Weird, the ident screen and title screen are the same. Anyway, Days of Thunder. All of these tracks look the same. It's either oval, slight change to oval, slight change to oval. Let's enter race. I don't need to practice. Qualify? Press A to qualify. Did I qualify? Oh dear God, it's first person. Oh no. I'm not pressing any buttons. Oh God. Oh, weird. Okay, so it's another of those games where, like, the start of the race is a little bit controlled by the computer. Nothing's filled in, it's all line art on the actual racetrack, so it's hard to tell what the hell's going on. It's playing surprisingly... Oh God. Sorry about that. Decently. Like, if you watch the actual track go by, it's not bad. Certainly not great, but this is absolutely like a step up from race driving. Pit stop. I can't do the pit stop. I just want a pit stop. How much does the game play itself? It doesn't. Oh God. I let go of the button. Everything's terrible. We're gonna do this again, and this time I'm gonna totally pit stop. Practice this. What? How? I'm mashing every button, and it's not showing me what to do. Down. Up. Left. Oh, left. Up. Down. Left. Ah! A. Left. Up. Down. Left. It's little mini QuickTime events. Okay, 45-second pit stop. Good. Okay, we got something going here. Now, will I be able to see other racers is the question. Since my qualifier was in first place, I should be in the lead right now. So let's abruptly stop in the middle of the road just to see. Oh God, I'm being rear-ended. I'm not going to call this great, but as far as a first-person racer goes on the Game Boy, it's definitely a step up from other ones we've played. Oh, that car's exploding. Stop! Stop it! Oh, God! Oh, no! Fiery explosion. Is that my arm hanging out? Oh, God. I kind of like this. It's very flawed. Going with the vector instead of textures is so weird, but it's also kind of created a very interesting effect, where it seems like it goes a touch smoother, and more important than that, it's quite technically impressive. Especially for, of all things, a movie tie-in game, with a pretty, from what I can gather, meh movie all around. Hang on, actually I want to do something. What's the season like? Season looks to be the same, but I changed it to 1 lap just so we can get back to the part where there's actual cars. I don't know, this is one of those games where I don't think I can objectively call it great, but I'm having fun with it. Yeah, there are times when the track does blend into the wall and it's hard to tell what's going on, but I don't know, I'm getting used to it. I would not play this over a standard top-down or third-person racing game, but I could see myself enjoying this as a kid. It's one of those games that's flawed, but also fascinating. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut ahead to when I'm back in a real race and see if I can not die in a horrible fiery wreck. Alright, here we go. Go, 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 go. When the other cars are on screen, you can really tell, though, the issues. I almost feel like I'd enjoy this game more without other racers, if that makes sense. Oh god. Okay, yeah, there's issues with the screen blending into itself. Now, there are options to do 40 laps. I think I'd hate the game if it was like that. But 1 to 3 laps? I don't know, I cannot believe I'm saying this when you're looking at this gameplay, but I think I recommend this game. It's janky and it's weird, but in a very fun way, and it genuinely plays better than some of the other first-person games we've played on the Game Boy. Yeah! You've won the race, and you can tell just how thrilled I am. Is there anything Tom Cruise can't do? He's even a game designer. I didn't go into this game with high hopes. A licensed tie-in game to a meh movie had all the hallmarks of disappointment. Then discovering it was first-person 3D was an even bigger red flag. And yet, when I started playing, I made the shocking discovery that the game was actually alright. It still had the kind of jank you expect from any 3D Game Boy game, but something about it clicked more than others. One thing that ended up really working was the use of vectors rather than textures, which helped the game run a bit smoother than previous 3D games. Yes, it did make things a little confusing at times, but that was balanced by the fact that none of the tracks were too complicated. In fact, I think that's the best way to describe this game. Balance. It had a lot of flaws, but they are all seemingly balanced by little things that make it all work. The gameplay is monotonous due to the lack of tracks, but the little pit stop minigames offer a perfect way to break them up. The gameplay is limited, but the novelty of it being a 3D game that doesn't run completely terribly makes up for it. It's easy to crash when there are multiple cars, but the sheer horror of the game over screen makes it kind of endearing. It's astounding. It's a game that in most other cases would collapse, but it all just kind of beautifully balances out into something halfway decent. Not something I'd be tripping over myself to play, but at least good enough for a novelty look. I don't think this game is particularly good, as most 3D Game Boy games suffer from similar issues, but this one I think does enough good to counteract its issues, to the point that it's worth a play. It's not great, but it's still quite the achievement. And honestly, it's worth it for that game over screen. Seriously, Tom Cruise is definitely dead in this image. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm BrianJ, and I'll see you next time.